On this month's episode, we celebrate agriculture awareness. Help us give a warm welcome to our in-studio guests, Molly and Jay Braymiller from Stillwater Farm in Boston. Listen to how their purpose-driven farm offers comfort and support to so many families in Western New York. Next, we speak with friends of Stillwater Farm, Meghan and Desmond, a mother-son duo who are trying to beat the odds of pediatric cancer. Lastly, come along for a ride as we journey down to Eden Valley Creamery and Sticky Paws Maple in Randolph, New York. I'm your co-host, Judd Laurie, along with Bethany Botzenhart and Marnie Cerrato, and this is Season 2, Episode 4 of Get Housed 716. All right. 2 times in this studio is the charm. What's up, everybody? This is producer J-Lo. And we're in Season 2, Episode 4, the month of April. What's going on, ladies?
April, can you believe it's here already?
We have some very special in-studio guests today. The Braymillers are out here from Stillwater Farms in Boston.
Jay and Molly, 2 of our favorite people.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Oh
We've been counting down the days, waiting for you to come to the studio.
We booked this engagement. When was it? November, December, October?
Yeah,
We're like talking about it for a year.
Yeah. Get us on the calendar.
I thought we were bringing a sheep with us. That's why.
Yeah, we were hoping. I put it right on my lap.
Could you imagine all this equipment and a sheep would make a good match?
I could see it.
Yeah.
Amazing. So for anyone in Western New York who doesn't know, who could that be that doesn't know Stillwater Farm?
Well, they need to get with the program. Stillwater Farm in Boston, New York. Right? Yep. So during this episode, we are going to learn a little bit about the history, about the amazing work you do at Stillwater, and meet some of your friends. Right?
Yay. Yes. And we're celebrating small farms
in Western New York, local small farms, which are near and dear to our hearts. We love the work that you do and that all the farms in Western New York. And also the possibility of if you are out there and you are toying with the idea of how do I get started? This has always been a dream of mine. There's a lot of land and opportunity and existing farms or new farms to go after. So I think your wisdom will be helpful for those future farmers out there.
Absolutely. And Jay, I know when we've had the opportunity to come out to the farm, you are passionate. That's one of the things that you really talk about is supporting your local farmer and how important that is.
Yeah, absolutely. I often mention when people are out to the farm during our dinners that I am the son of farmers. My mom and my dad were both raised on dairy farms. Both of their parents were raised on dairy farms. So you multiply all the generations and cousins and people that I have in my family, I'm the only one that is even remotely doing any farming. It is a profession and a passion that is just disappearing. There are a lot of small farms that have turned into these large dairy farms where they're milking 1,500 to 2,000 cows a day.
Wow, that's a lot of butter.
Yeah.
That is a full-time job.
It's a full-time job for dozens of people. But the idea that in the backyard of a family farmhouse, there's a farm that can sustain a family has disappeared.
Yeah,
right. And you didn't start out farming. You're an award-winning architect.
Yep. As I said, I was raised on a 500-acre dairy farm. And as a small child, I wanted to be an architect. I don't know exactly why, but it was a passion of mine. And I'm lucky enough that I think I do what I was meant to do, along with being a farmer, meaning caring for animals and the husbandry, of making sure that they are well fed and taken care of, and vet visits and clean housing and all the things that go with that.
Yeah, I'm really loved. And Molly, you help with the farm dinners. You kind of orchestrate behind the scenes.
Yes, I'm the woman behind the curtain a lot of the time.
So
I'm just a pretty face.
Yes. That's what we always say.
We need a pretty face there.
Thank God.
Yeah. So how long have the farm dinners been going on?
Oh, gosh.
This will be our 6th year.
6 years.
Yeah.
I was going to say 5, but I was pretty close.
It really, Victor from Las Puertas is a wonderful restaurant on the west side of Buffalo, was buying lamb from me and from the farm, and came out to pick up some lamb. And we went for a walk at the back of the farm, and he said, I want to cook here. And I said, okay. And he said, no, like right here. So we put the idea of having a farm dinner together. It also coincided with our first ever picnic with the Courage of Carly, where we bring children out from Roswell. So we had to rent a tent for that event. So we had the tents in place. And so it just kind of, the idea of having a farm dinner there, within a week of that picnic kind of made a lot of sense.
Right.
Yeah.
So 1 that year?
2 that year.
2 that year.
Our good friend Mike Dimmer from Marble and Rye jumped in also. And then we did a couple more the following year. And then when COVID hit, it got real popular to be outside in the fresh air.
It was one of the few things that people, were really able to do, because it was such an open air environment. And we social distanced, and it actually turned out to be kind of like the impetus to what it looks like now.
No.
Yeah.
So special. So the chefs for this year were just released.
Yes.
Looks like you've got some favorites.
Yes.
And then you've got some new additions.
Yep. Who's new this year? This year, we're featuring, there's a new restaurant that I don't know when they're actually opening. It's called Fairbanks. And it's from the wonderful people over at Billy Club, who are just so talented and lovely. And, we'll follow them wherever they go. And I think it's going to be starting in Lockport, if I'm
Lewiston.
not mistaken.
Yeah,
Okay.
Lewiston.
Okay,
I think
great.
they're aiming for sometime this fall to open.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
great.
So that'll be like a sneak peek.
Yeah. So the farm dinners, if you haven't been out to one, amazing. So they have chefs from all different restaurants come out all summer long. How many do you have total? I mean, it looked like a big list this year.
We have 18 farm dinners and then 5 dinners in the round. Have you guys been to dinner in the round?
That was new last year. No, we had already gotten our
Tell us
tickets.
about it. What is dinner in the round?
During the farm dinners in the past years, I always noticed the guests looking over at the chef tent, like, what are they doing over there? What's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nosy Rosie.
Yeah. Guilty.
We came up with this concept of bringing the chefs over to the dinner tent, and we bring over the grills and the prep tables and the beverage tables and the plating tables, and the guests are arranged in 2 semicircles kind of facing in. So there's 16 guests on each side, and they're all looking right at the chef, and the plating service tables are right in front of you. So you get to see the chef. Sometimes they whip out the tweezers for the microgreens. And
Oh, that's amazing. It's like theater in the round.
Yes, exactly. And then,
Yes, right?
That's our next idea.
Are you going to start singing?
Featuring
Oh, we could do like a mystery theater dinner or something, right? I mean, I have ideas for Stillwater.
Oh, just stop. I'm going to
the
go.
interaction between the guests and the music and the chefs and the servers is a lot more vibrant. And we really, people have really loved the ones we did last year.
Oh, we'll have to
Really
check those out.
special. And we love Uncle Bob.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
The musician.
He'll be back.
The musician, absolutely amazing. And also award-winning.
He was great.
Yep.
I had a chance to hear him at the last dinner in October. He was really good.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he also came to that client event that I did.
Yes, I remember. Yeah.
Beautiful.
I know.
Such a beautiful voice.
Sometimes I think I'm too close to the situation because he's my uncle. And then I step back and I'm like, What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And he played in the rain and the cold. It was
he's
incredible.
a
He really,
trooper, and he loves it. And
Yeah.
he's just one of the most talented people you'll ever meet, ever.
That's amazing. So if you haven't been, I highly encourage you to, if you can get tickets, right? They sell out very quickly.
Minutes.
They do.
Yes. So when does it drop? I know that you've announced it, but when can people buy tickets?
April 5th at 8 p.m.
Okay.
Do not use Apple Pay. There's something about Apple Pay that delays your purchase.
Oh, little insider
know.
tip.
Yeah,
Good to
there you
know.
go.
Actually, just get the Visa Black Card.
Yeah.
And just, guarantee that you have a place at the table.
Exactly.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And so these wonderful farm dinners really support something that's much bigger. I mean, we feature local chefs. You support local farm to table, but there's really...
And you have this amazing experience because you're on the farm, you have a tour of the farm, and you get to meet the animals and hear about the history. But really, the purpose behind this magical evening
is so much bigger.
Yeah. So we started a non-for-profit called CARE at Stillwater, Cultivating a Restorative Environment. One of my brilliant children came up with that.
It wasn't me. Sorry, that was Leah.
Shout out to Leah. Snaps to Leah.
And so a portion of every ticket that we sell for the farm dinners goes directly into the CARE at Stillwater. And we work with Courage of Carly to bring children out to the farm a couple of times a year to have an immersive farm tour. They get to love on the animals as long as they want. They chase frogs and crickets and blow bubbles by the pond. And it just is an endless amount of fresh air and, hopefully giving them a little relief from the battle that they're facing. We also work with the Punch Foundation, which is an organization that raises lots of money to support families in Western New York battling cancer. And all the events at our farm focus on their bereavement program. They have basically 5 programs under their umbrella. And we do a meat raffle in the spring. I think this year it's June. It's in sometime in June. I can't remember the exact date.
Maybe.
You're just guessing, Molly.
I am.
It's tough to keep it all. Tough to keep it all. You've got a big calendar to keep track of.
And we do... I don't know if you've ever been to a meat raffle. A lot of times they're held at like volunteer fire departments. This is out at our farm, in our tent, in fresh air. And we also focus on local. Like the ham that you buy or bid on at our raffle is coming from a farm about 3 or 4 miles away. It's not coming from a factory in the Midwest.
Everybody is so generous and supportive, and it's wonderful and super fun too.
And you plant beautiful trees. You have a gorgeous orchard.
So we have in the fall, we have a bereavement luncheon where we host families who have lost children to cancer. And our foundation is able to buy fruit trees that we've now started a memory orchard. And unfortunately, there's almost 30, I think there's 32 or 33 trees. And each one of those is in honor of a child that we've lost. And it is a very difficult day, but it's something that we have found that the parents really appreciate. They'll give us a call and say, "It's my son's birthday next week. Do you mind if I come out?" This past fall, so we buy the trees, we prepare the holes. The families have a luncheon. They have some community to support each other. And then they come over and pick out which tree they want, apple tree, cherry tree, pear tree. And then they decide where they want to put the tree. And last fall, I was helping this young mom plant her tree. We placed it in the ground, and I'm getting ready to cover it up. And she tapped me on the hand and said, "Can you wait just a second?" And she reaches into her purse and pulls out her son's ashes and puts them on the root ball of this fruit tree. And for her to trust us with the earthly remains of her child, I was in a puddle.
Yeah.
I mean, we held each other for 5 minutes. I never thought that we would end up being this kind of organization or this family that can support other families, but we are so glad that this path has led us here.
Wow. I am incredibly moved by everything you and your family do and how you have supported the community and each other. And I just thank you. Thank you for continuing to be there for everyone and for being such an incredible, beautiful support.
So thank
you for saying that.
Yeah.
That's very kind.
Well, we have a very special guest.
We do. Jay brought us all to tears. I mean, come on. Like, wow.
Megan is on with us.
Megan is on with us.
What a
So
surprise.
Megan and I are twinning with our Desmond Strong
You
teas.
should get some of those, Dad.
I know.
You have
So
me blubbering over here. Right.
Well, we're here for you, Megan.
So, Megan and her son Desmond have not only been out to the farm, but you just had a really special encounter.
Sure
Unfortunately, Desmond was at Oshai spending some time, and you went to see him.
Yeah.
But you had a friend with you.
Yes.
We had a couple of friends. We had Kevin and Olaf. Two of
best
our
friends.
sheep. Yeah. And we even brought Pepper too, the dog
puppy.
that
Yep.
yeah.
Mhm.
And we were out on the sidewalk, and hopefully we encouraged him that day to get well enough to come back out to the farm.
Oh, you did. He can't wait to get back out there.
Awesome.
We're so excited to see him.
Yeah. I don't know if it will be this summer, but maybe next year at some point. He's got a lot of restrictions he's on right now, but
well, we
we'll
can
see.
come to him,
okay.
We will too.
We take it day by day.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
So, Megan, tell us a little bit about your story.
Desmond was diagnosed with T-cell acute lymphoblastic leukemia at age 5, and he had treatment for about 2.5 years, and then he rang the victory bell at Roswell. And this past November, he relapsed. So this time, he needed to have a bone marrow transplant, and we are now home from that chapter of the hospital, and we're recovering at home. It's a lot of restrictions. It's very similar to the height of COVID times for us, except now we're doing this ourselves and the rest of the world continues to go on. Whereas when COVID happened, everybody stopped doing what they were doing. So we really lean on the community during this time or times like this. So we know that we're not alone. And the Braymillers and the farm really have helped us from day one. And I couldn't be more grateful to Jay and his family for all that they do. That's Louie. Louie's barking.
Louie, this is Louie.
It's a long road ahead. We just got home last week from the hospital, and he's on I can't even tell you how many medications he's on, and we're just praying and hoping that the transplant took. We have a bone marrow biopsy at Roswell on Tuesday, and we'll get more information then. He is doing well. He's in good spirits. He's getting used to being back at home and being on a schedule at home and having to take the meds and do school virtually. He is finishing 5th grade now at South Davis in Orchard Park. And then next year, for his first year of middle school, it will be completely virtual. So he's missing out on a lot of things that no 10-year-old boy should have to miss out on.
Yeah.
But he has a lot of things, too, that bring smiles to his face. So I just want to keep bringing those smiles to his face for as long as I can.
Tell us about that. Tell us about what makes him happy. What are some of the pieces that I know? The sheep, right? Yes. we know animal. He's an animal lover.
He loves animals. Yep. He has 3 cats and a dog. And he was very concerned when he knew he had to get this transplant that the cats wouldn't be able to sleep with him. Luckily, his doctor said that they could as long as we watched and they're not on top of his head and things like that. So he was pretty happy about that. He just loves that. He's an animal guy. I mean, he wanted to go to the chicken house or the hen house the first time at the farm, and he just wanted to hold all of the birds. And I'm like, wait, don't touch him. We gotta wait. We gotta hand sanitize and all this stuff. But you can't stop him. He wants to do something. He's going to do it. And then he loves Kevin. Yeah. He loves Kevin the sheep. And I was calling Kevin a goat, and he's like, he's not a goat. He's a sheep, Mom. And he's been begging Jay for a cow named Desmond. So,
I heard about that.
You let him know that as we're figuring out how to put the barn back together, there's going to be a stall for a cow. So he's got to get strong so he can come out and visit the cow.
I think I talked to your wife, Margaret. We talked about maybe a mini Highland.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what we're getting into.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
We got to get Desmond's opinion on
whatever Desmond
kind of cow.
For his namesake.
That's amazing.
He's doing good though. He wants to come out at the farm. He also loves to play in that pond. Yeah. He searches for those the frogs, tries to get them in the tadpole. Last year there were so many tadpoles. He just kept trying to get them. And I can't. The food is delicious. It's so good every time we go there. It's just it's a day that you don't have to worry about things like medicine, like treatment. You get to be with kids and families that are going through very similar experiences to what you're going through. And it's probably been said before, but no one really understands unless you're in the thick of it. And we're unfortunately back in the thick of it after 2.5 years of remission. And we can't do these things without community support and without the other oncology families, because they're our strength when we're at our lowest points. So again, I can't wait to get back out there. I hope it's sometime this summer, but we'll have to see what the doctors say.
Well, if he's ever well enough, we can always make a special visit too. So it wouldn't have to be just at the time when there's a picnic.
Absolutely.
We'll figure out, even if it's just a drive-by, and you can come in the driveway and wave to the animals. We'll figure something out.
Yeah, he would love that. Yeah. Oh, he loved it in the hospital. The child life specialist ran in and said, Desmond, you have to go straight to the window. And we were like, what are you talking about? There's a special surprise out there for you. And Miss Margaret was on the phone with Allie, the child life specialist, and she said, we're outside with Kevin and Olaf. And we were oh my goodness, he lit right up when he saw you guys. Oh. And then he made Jay drive by with he said, how did you get them to the city? And he drove past with the trailer for the animals. It was so cute.
Oh, you saw me then, obviously. I wasn't sure.
We did, yeah,
I was blowing the horn and.
Yep. Oh, we heard the horn too. We all the way up on the 12th floor. We heard.
Oh, there you go. You mean they don't sit shotgun? They're not like.
No.
They wish.
So, Meg, you and I are wearing special T-shirts. They came from Herd Buffalo?
Yep. Sweet Buffalo and Sweet Buffalo Rocks. My one of my best friends, Kimberly LaRussa, she runs Sweet Buffalo, and she said, we're going to do something because I'm off of work for a while and I'm an only parent. So trying to figure out finances and things like that during this time is or shouldn't be the first thing on my mind. My first goal should be taking care of Desmond and spending as much time with him as possible without worrying about finances. So in order to help me out a little bit, she reached out to Herd Buffalo and they created these shirts, and I'm hearing that they're very popular. Louis Bear is a very famous dog.
Yes, he sure is, and he's really cute.
Yeah, look at that
We
face.
went on a walk the other day, and one of my neighbors said, "I know that dog. I saw him on TV."
Aw. How do we order the shirts? We want to tell our Pod Squad if they want to get some shirts.
There's a link.
Mhm. We can share it.
We'll
We can
share
share
the
it
link
out.
for
Yep,
sure.
yep. We'll share the link.
Thank you. It's off of my mind. I can't even think of,
we'll put the link.
Yeah, we'll post it.
But there is a link, and it's available, and they have kid sizes too. So
Great.
It's a lot of fun.
Well, Team Stillwater will definitely be rocking those.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can't wait to
Yeah,
get
Louis is
ones.
going to be
Everywhere.
barking everywhere. Yeah.
you probably heard him barking right when I unmuted. He started to bark, and I was like, "No."
He wants on. on.
Yeah.
We love
The mailman was here. That's why.
Oh, okay. A visitor.
There you go.
Mhm. Yes.
Exciting.
Yes.
So, how's Desmond doing? How's he feeling?
He's feeling okay. It's really day by day and minute by minute, because he'll have a really great day, and then like last night after pills, he felt nauseous and he threw up a little bit. So it's really it's day by day. He's doing well. His numbers are great. We were at Roswell yesterday, and everything's going the way that it should. We don't know too much information about the transplant yet, because we don't have the biopsy until Tuesday. So, and then a waiting period of like 5 days starts. And that's the worst for a parent, to wait for those results.
Sure.
I know I talked to other parents that were waiting for tests, and it's really the most torturous time, because you're just sitting by the phone, checking your phone every 5 minutes to see if the doctor's calling you with the results that you want to hear. So.
Well, we are absolutely praying for you and rooting for Desmond for sure. I know he's got a pretty cool bed that he's sleeping in.
Oh, his bed. Yeah. He loves the Titanic. He and Special Spaces, when he was first sick, they created this bedroom for him. And he is probably the only boy that has a Titanic-shaped bunk bed.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Oh, nice.
Maybe a little challenging when we were looking for a home to find a room big enough for the Titanic bed.
Yeah. I mean, it really, it's huge. And he got the bigger room when I moved with Bethany got him the bigger room, because it would only fit in the bigger room.
You need that Titanic bed.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, that's great.
That's right.
He deserves it.
It's really a great.
So
I hope he likes it for until he's like 16, because I can't even imagine taking it down.
Yeah.
I know, but that's another resource. I mean, Buffalo. I know, Jay. We were talking about it before we came on. Buffalo is such a special community where everybody pitches in. So from Special Spaces, who wants to make the room really special, to Stillwater, who gives really special experiences. And if you
Heard Buffalo
watching the posts that Meghan did, every day somebody was coming in to make his day just a little bit easier.
Yep. We could never get through this without you guys, without all of Buffalo.
Yeah,
It's a special place. It's a really special place. I'm originally from New York City, Staten Island, and I've been up here since 2008. So I like to say I'm now a certified Buffalonian. I've been here long enough.
Through the blizzard.
You are. You earned it. You earned it. You are.
And I would never move back home. Not ever. This is the place. After my divorce, my whole family was like, "Oh, you can come back home now, right?" And I said, "Nope." And we have all these resources right here. So why would we ever leave?
Mm-hmm.
And no traffic.
It's not just
no traffic.
It's not just a place; it's a family up here, and I mean that for like every community partner that is helping these children out that are sick. Okay.
Bye.
Megan,
Love
thank
to
you so
Desmond.
much.
Thank
We
you,
love
Megan.
Desmond, and we're saying some prayers
We're rooting for you.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, Desmond.
We'll see you soon.
We'll see you soon.
Bye. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you guys.
Bye. So recently, Stillwater experienced a tragedy. You had a fire.
We did, unfortunately.
What happened?
It was,
January 29th.
do you want to tell it?
Yeah. I take up a lot of mic space, Molly.
Yeah, you do.
If you want to jump in.
I'll pitch it.
It was about 3:20, December 29th, early in the morning. January. I'm sorry. We obviously were all sleeping. I heard a sound. The first thought was we have a very rambunctious Doberman who
She's always
causing
getting into trouble.
I thought she had done something, and I thought, God damn dog. But and then I heard the sound, something else, a similar sound. I was like, that's more than what. And I got up, and our bedroom faces the back of the property where the barns are. And I kind of saw this glow, and I was like, stood up and looked, and the barn was the east end of the barn was on fire. That's, if you've been to the farm, it's the
front
end
door.
It's the front door. Yeah. Just ran, woke Margaret up, ran downstairs, yelled to Molly. Very interesting response when I said, Molly, the barn's on fire. Call 911. Molly says,
now?
Like, no, we should wait a few minutes before we
There
go.
was 3:30 in
You
the
must be
morning.
sleeping on a Cerrato.
Oh, I was out.
She was out. That was it.
No?
We're
Prada.
sponsored by Casper.
So we just ran out to the barn. There's a very funny little video from our Ring camera with me running out to the barn with just my underwear on and boots. And luckily, we were able to come in the back side of the barn, the far end of the barn. I opened the door, and the donkey actually sleeps in the aisle of the barn. And I opened the door, and she took off and opened Cooper, the little mini pony's gate, and he took off. Luckily, they left. Then a few seconds, I couldn't see the animals. You know, we've been in that barn so many times that we know where everyone is. I went over and opened up the goat's gate. Couldn't see them. I threw the gate open, or the stall front, and they showed up right at my legs. And so I grabbed them by their collars, and Molly at that time had caught up with me and was standing in front of me, and I just handed them to her, and she just ran.
Well, we couldn't, it was the barn was completely filled with smoke. We couldn't see anything. So even just that kind of transaction.
And it's nighttime.
Yeah.
There's no reference.
It was 3:30 in the morning.
I mean, you could have, if you didn't know the barn as well as you did, you could have easily gotten lost in there and trapped in a corner.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so Molly ran with the goats, and I went over to the horse stall, and this is my wife's love of her life. I know my place. I'm right. It's maybe a close second, but and I opened I opened the gate, her stall front, and she backed away from me. And this is a horse that kicked me in the knee like 8 years ago, so we have an interesting relationship. And I was thinking into my head, okay, I got to go into the stall, get behind her. I'm going to get kicked, but I got to do this. And then I was just about to take a step, and Margaret showed up right next to me. And I had her halter in my hand because I had earlier tried to put it on her. I handed the halter to Margaret, and she went into the stall. And the horse backed away from Margaret also, but somehow she was able to collect herself and speak calmly and tell her it's okay. She got the halter on and was able to take her out of the barn, which is
and she would never have left with anyone else.
She was not
Ellie
coming
would
out of
not
that
have
stall.
left.
Right.
She needed her person to guide her out of there. So we had gotten the goats out. The large pig, Eleanor, we kind of pushed her, and Eleanor
Well, we didn't
took off.
We didn't know where she was.
Yep. But and then Molly came back into the barn, and Penny Lane, the little gray and black pig, was still in her stall. Molly jumped in, sat on her butt, and pushed her with her feet to get her to come out to the door. And the whole time, she is squealing and shouting. She was just terrified.
Yes.
It was horrible.
Sure. I was reaching over and pushing her also. We got her out of there.
And this time, like the barn is in
we
flames.
could hear the fire over
fully engulfed
over our heads.
heads. Yeah.
It kind of went up the front and then over. And we could hear it above our heads. There was stuff falling.
Yeah. The only reason I even was able to find either of the pigs was it all kind of retrospectively now looking at it is all these little series of things that just worked out really well. For the worst thing that could happen, it was kind of the best case scenario. So I fortunately had to call 911. So because of that, I had my phone. And my sister jokes that I sleep in business casual, which I do. Sleep sets only. So I had pockets to have my phone. And if I hadn't had my phone that had my flashlight, we never in a million years would have found either of the pigs. And I just scanned the entire floor, like just tried to be as systematic as I could. And, thank God we found Penny, and she was just in her stall, and she wasn't even facing the door. She was facing the wall. She would have just stayed there. And it took so much effort to get her out, to the point where, you're doing everything you can, of course, because it's literally life or death. So, I mean, we ended up having to pick her up, and she's tiny.
She's not a little girl.
She's not. She's a nice size.
She is not light. So we had to kind of do like front and back, pick her up and just get her out by literally any means necessary. It was just, it was really.
Well, my guess is you probably had some people upstairs helping you through that situation.
We got a lot of media attention. We were on most of the local networks. And they had actually invited Margaret and I into Channel 4, did an interview. I told the story about me hearing this sound, and that's what woke me up. If I wouldn't have heard those sounds, which in hindsight was probably the tires on our little Kubota blowing up from the heat.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what we think.
And Dave Gerber, the interviewer, said it was a miracle. And we all agreed. And that night we went home, and one of the moms, is a tough one too, who has a tree in our orchard in honor of her daughter, wrote on Facebook.
Carmela.
Yeah, Carmela. Wrote on our Facebook page that, Jay, it was a miracle, but it may have also been your angels from the orchard helping you guide your way. And just that thought of her persistent little daughter knocking on my window to get me going is, it's pretty touching.
How amazing.
So in true Braymiller fashion, chefs came together for you. There was an amazing dinner put together by Marble and Rye and Oliver's to support the farm. But you're not using that money to rebuild the barn.
No.
Tell us more about what you're using that money for.
So we're planning on expanding the barn a little bit better. So we have, we built the barn 16 years ago, and how we use the barn and how we interact with our guests now was not part of that, or accepting
original plan,
right?
Yeah,
or accepting all these wonderful creatures that somehow end up at our door because they need a better place to live. So we're gonna maybe make the barn a little bit bigger. But one of the things that has always bothered all of us is when the children come out from Roswell with Courage of Carly, they have a great day. They're just running around as we, chasing frogs. And, last year it rained and there were 20 kids at the pond trying to catch frogs.
Yeah.
But also occasionally we'll have a child who's in a wheelchair or a walker or needs some assistance. And we have nowhere for them to use the restroom with any dignity other than a portable toilet. So all the money that is donated, all the money that is raised through GoFundMe is going to be used to help their experience at the farm be much better. And so we want to build a little annex off the barn, which will have a handicapped toilet in it, maybe a little space. Because as I said, sometimes it rains when they're out there, and summer days can be cool. Sometimes there's nowhere for them to get warm other than to go sit in their car and kind of completely lose the magic of their experiencing. So we'll have a little space where if it is a cooler day or rainy, they can hang out in there, and there'll be some animals that they can still interact with. So it gets complicated because whenever you have invite the public onto your property and you are on a well system, as we are out in Boston, the well has to be certified. So we have to dig a whole nother well. We have to have it tested every month. We have to put in a septic system to support the toilet. So, it really starts to get complicated quickly.
Right. So
are you designing the barn?
Well, we're trying to find a good architect.
Okay.
They're not easy to find. You can find an architect, but the good part is the hard part. But yeah, we're really not sure when we're going to start the process because we'll take we'll use the insurance money and some of our own money specifically for the barn. And then, as I said, any donated funds or money that's been raised by these amazing people will help to make that whole experience better in the future. And I love that idea. And we've talked to some of the folks at Roswell about trying to expand that experience where we would actually build a couple of small cabins so that if a child is healthy enough, they can come out and spend the weekend with their family and have like a list of chores they have to do and things to be responsible for, and invite our chef partners and friends to come out and teach them a little bit about nutritional food while they're up against the battle of their lives. One of the things that I've learned through this is that when children are being treated, they not only lose their hair, but they can lose their taste buds. So they go for salty, sweet, like the worst foods for them are what they taste. So part of the picnic experience with Courage of Carly is that we have chefs teach the families, like we'll have a big pile of corn and the kids will come up and shuck the corn. And then the chef.
When we did that with Ross Warhol?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it was a good day.
Yeah, that was a great day.
And then the chefs just teach their parents, like, all you gotta do is grab this corn, do this to it, they make it look so easy, which it can be. And you have a nutritious, local, fresh food is medicine experience for the children. So, we've also learned that there are other pediatric hospitals, cancer hospitals in the South that are kind of associated with the farm, but there's nothing in the Northeast. So the idea is that we can become a program that is part of the non-medicine side of healing for the children in our community.
That's the goal, at least.
Right.
Yeah, incredible.
Did you ever think when you had your first farm dinner that this is where it would
evolve?
No. There's a story behind that too.
No, never.
So our first experience with the picnics with the children was paid for by a grant from Roswell. They had gotten a big grant from Hyundai, I think. And it was about teaching children and families how to eat better when they're fighting cancer. And they reached out to my wife, who then we got involved because Margaret is the administrator of the pediatric oncology department at Roswell. And everyone knows her farm because if you even lightly brush her on the arm, she will tell you about her horse.
Yeah. Girl after her own heart.
And so part of that grant was the children went to our good friend Mike Dimmer's restaurant, Marble and Rye, and he did a little cooking demonstration. They went to, they hooked up with Brad Rowell from the Grange, and he also did a cooking demonstration. Again, just to help them understand that good, nutritious food can be easier than you think. It culminated with a picnic on the farm. And we had the tent, the chairs, it's an expensive proposition. Brad Rowell came out and made an amazing fresh meal right in front of them. And one of the little guys that came out was Emmett. And Emmett, I hope Emmett is doing well. This was 6 or 7 years ago. And he got there and I introduced myself, and this child was gray. He was up against it. And I asked him how he was doing. He was like, I'm not feeling great today. And I said, well, go see the animals, get something to eat. And he was like, okay. So about maybe an hour or two later, we were in the back by the dinner tent, and I was driving our Kubota, the same one that exploded and woke me up.
The very same.
It's you might recognize it as a side by side. There's one driver and one passenger. And I saw Emmett. I said, how you doing? He's like, I had some food. I feel better. I said, do you want to go for a ride on our Kubota? And his eyes lit up. I said, go ask your mom. And this kid ran to his mom, right? She gave me the thumbs up. So I put him behind the wheel and strapped him in, let him drive. I did the gas and the brake, from the passenger seat. I reached over. And we're going around the backside of the pond. And I said, Emmett, you ready for some speed? He's like, yeah. And I floored it. And Emmett just howled in delight. Just like,
aww,
he was just
so fun.
happy.
Right.
And it was at that moment, I was like, this cannot be the last time we do this. So the concept of having the farm dinners to help pay for the picnics, it also brings a lot of exposure to the farm and what we're doing.
Yeah.
That's kind of when it was born. And every chef that I reached out to in Western New York and Buffalo and explain, if they weren't familiar with it, I explained what we did and why we did it. And they're like, okay, we'll be there.
Yeah, we're in. We're in.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a wonderful experience and it's an amazing meal. And the story behind it makes it that much more special. So can someone just come and buy like fresh meat from Stillwater?
Well,
or are you in that business or no? It's
we
more
used to be. We used to sell retail lamb.
Yeah.
We won't have any product this year, obviously, because we don't have a barn.
It got burnt up.
When we process the lamb, we would also always process a portion of them for the restaurants and then a portion of them for retail sale. It's a complicated endeavor. Let's speak a little bit about local farms because they have to be processed at a USDA inspected facility. And when you're trying to do that with 10 or 12 lambs, there are only a few places in Western New York that you can do that. And we actually often will schedule the processing day before the animals are born. If we wait, we will be blocked out. And lamb have an expiration date, so to say. Once they reach a year old, it's considered mutton, and you can no longer sell it as lamb. So it's we're anywhere between 7 and 11 months. Yeah. And then if it gets past that and you can't find a processor, we got
more lambs for the kids to visit.
Yeah.
More friends living on the farm.
Yes.
And we go.
Who doesn't want that now?
We either go to a place south of Erie, Pennsylvania, or the other side of Arundecoit Bay up on Rochester. Yeah, it's like you can't find these places.
Especially a place that is in line with our values and is clean and nice and, they are well taken care of in that space once they leave, our care.
Right.
That's even harder to find.
A very important part of the process is that they understand what our values are.
We had to do a lot of, kind of looking around at facilities for long time to try to find some place that we felt comfortable, sending these animals for the final minutes of their time. So that's also very important to us to make sure that it's done ethically and again, like in line with our values.
Right.
And on the farm side, the product side, it affects the flavor also, that they are cared for calmly at the end, so they're not excited and affect the.
Okay. Okay. One of the things that I noticed when we were at the dinner at Oliver's was Chef Warhol got up and spoke about how you've impacted his life and really changed his life.
So kind of him.
I mean, really on all fronts. So not just on the pediatric front, impacting those families, but you've really impacted the chef community in Western New York.
Would never have dreamed that people of that stature, he's one of the best chefs in the Northeast.
He cooks on tour for some really famous people.
Very famous.
And the first time he came out to the farm, and we're so fortunate. My wife is incredibly loving and kind, and our children are loving and kind. And the people that we ask to help us with a dinner, we don't invite everyone. They have to understand the mission, why we are doing what we do. And they also have to understand that we want to be as welcoming and supportive as we possibly can when people come out to spend time with us on the farm. So Ross cooked there the first time, and at the end of the dinner, and he felt it. Like when you come out there, you kind of, it's hard to describe, but there's a feeling of love and kindness and caring. And he was cleaning up, and I went to him and said, Chef, can I help you? What do you need? I'll help you clean anything up. And again, this is the first time he was there. And he turned around and looked at me. He said, no, this is my responsibility. I've got this. And I said, okay, well, if you need something, let me know. And I was walking away. He said, I need to tell you something. I said, uh-oh. I'm never cooking outside again.
These conditions are deplorable.
We need to talk.
And he looked at me and he said that, and this was coming out of COVID, kind of in COVID, restaurant worlds were turned upside down. And he said, the last few years of my life, professionally and personally, have been incredibly challenging. And today, cooking on your farm and understanding what your mission is and feeling the positive energy has given me a reason to cook again. It's like, holy shit.
That's big. That's really
very profound.
It was a shift, like a seismic shift.
And never in a million years did we think we would have that effect.
No.
But you do good, right? You treat people with respect and kindness, and if they're not used to it, from people yelling at them in the kitchen or people sending back their steak.
It's like such a nice reminder, because the world can sometimes just not be the prettiest place.
Knocks you down.
And to have this reminder that there is good in the world, there are good people, there are good values, and that Buffalo is home to them. It's just, everybody needs to hear it. Everyone, and hopefully live it, right?
Yes.
Like live it, surround yourself by good people that make you feel good. Then you want to keep doing good and do better. And it will spread. And, and that is a really, really important in everybody's lives.
It's very powerful.
Mm-hmm. Well, we can't wait to get out to the farm again this summer.
I know. We're so excited.
And
we do love the farm.
Good luck if you're trying to get tickets out there.
Yes.
May the odds be ever in your favor.
That's right. That's right.
Visa Black. Get the Visa Black.
There are a lot of options too, right? Like, so if someone doesn't get their first choice,
keep trying.
Keep going, right?
Keep trying.
Yeah,
and tickets go on sale. Remind everybody again. I know you said it.
April 5th at 8 p.m. And our website is stillwaterfarmboston.com.
Okay, great. Great. Do you have any advice for someone that's thinking about purchasing a small farm or maybe building one of their own?
Good luck.
All hands on deck.
there's a similarity between my chosen profession and what we do on the farm. I, as an architect, and when people ask me, oh, my son wants to be an architect, and it's like, if that kid dreams architecture and sketches and is passionate about it, then he will be successful, or she. If it's just something that they saw in the book and thought it was cool, it ain't going to happen. It is a hard, steep climb to get licensed and then be able to find a rewarding job.
And fairly thankless, I would say.
Fairly thankless. And it's similar with farming. If it's just something you saw on, I'm being very...
Farmer wants a wife.
Yeah, exactly.
Thinking about that.
I'm not familiar with that.
Should we put you in there, Mom?
I think so.
Next contestant.
But if you're passionate about fresh air and animal husbandry and experiencing life as we did for eons before modern society, just being outside and caring for animals or planting something. When we moved out to the farm, my wife was 25, I think, and she's a city girl, grew up on the east side of Buffalo, and she wanted a garden. And so we plowed up this little maybe 20.
You took it to the extreme.
No. But
you plowed a whole hillside.
This little patch for her to plant in.
I think plow is probably a strong word.
Universal term.
I remember the day that we went, that the seed packets came, or we went to Tractor Supply wasn't there, but we got the seed packets.
Yeah.
We went out to plant the garden, and she looked at me and said, "You mean you put the seeds in the ground and they'll just grow?" It was such a disconnect between these amazing gardens that my mom and my grandmother had. Yeah. But, that moment for her turned into a passion. And if somebody is thinking about being a farmer or starting a small farm, again, it is passion and drive and just make sure you take good care of the animals that you're entrusted with.
It's a responsibility too. Of course, if you're thinking about getting into farming, that, but you have a responsibility to these little things that are.
There's no days off.
Exactly.
They don't know which day is a holiday.
And they start early, right? Your day starts early.
Yes.
We have a saying in our family.
Yeah.
Molly knows well.
That there's a special place in hell for people who don't take care of their animals. And every time I don't want to go out there when it's 90 degrees and make sure, for the 5th time that day, when I have a million other things to do, that everybody has water, you got to go check on them, make sure everybody's okay.
That's what my grandfather on our farm told me.
Yeah.
A million
There is
times.
a special place in hell for people who don't take care of their animals.
Yeah.
And it's true. They are completely dependent on you, and not only just to get their basic needs met, but to make sure that they live a enriching and generally good, happy life. And it is, that's a big responsibility that you have to make sure that you're in a position to, say okay, I'm going to do this every single day for years. And it's so worth it though. So it's
follow
so
your
rewarding.
passion.
Being children of veterinarian.
Yes, that's true. You get it.
We get it. We came home with a lot of one-eyed cats and dogs.
Lumpy cats.
Yep. The amount of times I've given
tripod dogs.
I've given so many fluids in my childhood bedroom to sick lambs, sick cats, sick guinea pig, name it. You have to be willing to learn it and do a good job and know that it might not always work out, but you
gave it your all.
You gave it your all.
You do your best.
Exactly.
Many mornings did I wake up when I went to get in the shower and pulled the curtain and there was a dog in there with the fluid bag.
Oh, yeah.
Overnight.
No, really?
We had a great picture of Molly when she was maybe 7 or 8. And if you know Molly, she's a fashionista. But we had a sick lamb, and the vet had taught her how to tube the lamb so she could put the food directly into their stomach.
Which is very dangerous for an 8-year-old to do.
Oh, I would just try this at home.
Don't try this at home because you can tube into their lungs.
Yes.
And they will drown,
sure.
unfortunately. So it is actually
So we had this
advanced
picture of little Molly sitting in her bedroom tubing a lamb and looking at Vogue magazine.
Nice. Every girl's dream.
Yeah. A woman of many passions.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Well,
Wonderful.
thank you so much
Yeah.
for joining us today.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks for sharing your story and being vulnerable and being there for our community. On behalf of Western New York, keep it up because we need you. And
We got plans.
we're excited. We're excited. We are going to see you this summer.
Yay.
And hopefully Pod Squad, we'll see you there. If you want to join Bethany and I out for a wonderful dinner and a great event, just let us know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for having us, you guys.
thank you
This
so
is
much.
fun.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Yeah, so we just finished talking about small farms and how precious they are to the community with the Braymiller family. And we are so thrilled to be with you, Emily Smith.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, on site here at Eden Valley Creamery. And this is, first of all, it's a beautiful day. And we're so happy to be visiting you today on this gorgeous day in Western New York. Share with us a little bit about what we have going on here. Just even in this space, I'm feeling hungry.
Yeah, so Eden Valley Creamery is a cheese plant. We make fresh cheese from our own milk that is sourced from just down the road, less than a mile. And it's all organic. We make about 20 varieties of different cheeses.
I love cheese, have always loved cheese. But what is your, do you have a specialty cheese or a favorite cheese that it happens?
Our best sellers are the cheese curds. They're fresh and squeaky, and they're enjoyed fresh out of the vat and as soon as possible.
Oh, okay, great. Great.
And then I saw in here you have some different flavors too, right? So this one was a sun-dried tomato and a dill.
Garlic and original. So we have 7 flavors, and the other 3 are onion and chive and horseradish and buffalo.
Yeah. So do these get switched up, or these are your staple flavors?
No, we switch out the samples. So we have about 20 varieties. So every day there's something new.
Okay. All right. And then, so Eden Valley Creamery isn't really in Eden. You're in Randolph. Which is, it was about an hour drive. So not terrible. It's a beautiful day to be driving down. But if people don't drive down, are there places locally in the Western New York area they can find them?
Absolutely. Yeah, we sell to the local Wegmans, Tops, Save-A-Lots, and a handful of farm stores around the area, stretching from Buffalo, Jamestown, and over to Batavia.
Okay, we know our friend Suzanne at Above Board uses all the Eden Valley cheeses and is passionate about them. And not only can you find cheese here, but you can find some other real goodies, right?
Absolutely. We try to bring as many local products as we can. It's a kind of small space, but we try to fill it up with only local stuff.
Yeah, it looks great. It looks great. And I can't help but notice the soft serve ice cream over there. Is that also from your farms?
It is not from our creamery here.
Okay.
Our milk does go to Upstate, and we buy the Upstate soft serve mix to serve here.
Okay, good. Great. We're going to get to talk to Everett as well, who has the maple farm. So I think some of that maple flavoring is in there, right?
Right. It is maple. It is maple season.
Maple season.
Yeah, maple weekend, right? So I love cheese and I also love maple. So this is a wonderful episode for me.
Right. Score. It's a twofer. It's a twofer. Judd, I don't know if I've ever met someone that likes a maple candy more than Judd.
Really? J-Love, yeah?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you're into the maple?
He loves a maple candy.
Oh, good. Well, that's good to know. So if anyone wants to give Judd a little bit of a, thank you, a little present. When's your birthday?
20th.
Oh, it's coming up.
Coming up.
Maple your way. You got it. Got it. And how long have you been here, Emily? You're the plant manager?
Yes.
Yes.
I've been here for 3 years.
Yeah. 3 years. So what kind of background or knowledge do you need in order to step into a role like yours?
As far as cheese making goes, I had no prior experience or training. I kind of stepped in when my predecessor took another job, and he trained me for a month before he took the other job. So
Okay.
mostly hands-on experience.
Okay. But you've got a background in agriculture, right? You grew up on a farm.
I grew up on a farm in Jamestown.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you went to school in Cornell.
Yes.
And what did you go to school for?
Animal science. So I'm more on the animal husbandry, caretaking, dairy herdsman role.
Got it. Great. And you've been to some interesting places to learn about cheese.
Yes, we were just talking. I took a tour in college to Italy and got to see some of the dairy farms there and their processing of with Parmesan cheese and some others.
Oh, Parmigiano. That's right. Parmigiano in Italy. Yeah. This is a very large slicer.
Yeah.
Have you eaten this?
I have not, no. So we actually inherited that. We last year took up the Reverie brand. They were making cheese in Mayville. We made cheese for them for a little bit, and then they decided to retire. And we purchased the recipes and the equipment to make that cheese. So it is now made here.
And is it a very big wheel that you need something like this?
I think that was something that Rico picked up and he gifted it to us.
It's fun.
Nice. And I see some awards there too. Are some of the cheeses award-winning cheeses?
Yes. A few of them have won at the New York State Fair.
Yum. That's amazing. I can't wait to...
Good. Do you want to sample?
I'm going to sample.
Let's see what you're going to have.
I like dill. So I'm for sure going to try the dill.
Good.
And so you've got packaged slices over here.
Mm-hmm. So we actually just bought this deli cooler, and we're looking to do a cut and wrap.
So good. Let me try it.
Yum.
I'm going to have one of these. This is the...
Oh, sun-dried tomato. Oh, tomato basil.
Tomato basil. This is a big piece of cheese.
This dill, delicious.
Joe, do you want to share? I love this.
You good?
I love this. So good. So I'm going home with some.
This is a cheese curd with different flavors? Or this is something to... Because are these all cheese curds in here or different kinds?
Nope. There's 7 cheese curds, and then we have a line of aged cheese also. So the difference is a cheese curd is made and packaged that same day, and our aged cheese are aged for...
Don't you love that? Forget about it.
Love it.
Forget about it. So good.
Love it.
Wow.
It's like dill. Try the dill. It's a dill curl. Don't miss the dill.
We have a cooler in the plant, and I can take you back there.
Mm. Oh, good. Yeah.
We can't wait.
Yeah, let's see the plant. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Right, so this is where the magic happens.
Behind the scenes. We're making some cheese.
I wish.
All right. Tell us what we have going on here. What is this? Not a swimming, not a hot tub.
I know, it looks just like a hot tub.
Yeah,
right?
not a hot tub, right? Don't jump in there.
Especially when it's full of milk.
Yeah.
So this is our pasteurizer.
Okay.
We bring the fresh milk in and pasteurize it to a certain temperature, and that is a kill step for any bad bacteria. And then we make the cheese right in this vat. So the milk is actually right here. from about 5 a.m. till 2 p.m. It is a 300-gallon vat. There's 10 pounds of milk that makes a pound of cheese.
Oh, okay. Wow. That's a big ratio. 10 pounds of milk makes 1 pound of cheese. How many cows? How many cows? Sounds like a jet, right? How many cows does it take? How many cows does it take to make a batch of cheese?
Yeah. So each cow makes about 70 to 80 pounds of milk per day. So that makes about 7 pounds of cheese.
I know that we're here on a weekend, but do you run Monday through Friday? Do you run every day?
Just about. Yep. Okay. Especially in the summer. Cheese curds are a big hit in the summer.
Oh, okay. So busy in the summer. Yeah. So then from here, they go to packaging?
Yeah, the cheese curds, yep. They would go to the stable and be packaged fresh the same day. So the milk is coagulated, kind of makes a yogurt texture, and then you cook the curds. So at this point, you have curds and whey. The whey gets drained out, and you're left with the cheese curds. For cheese curds, they get put into a tank, and it's gone through a process called cheddaring. So it's draining more of the whey. You make it into blocks, and then those blocks are put back into a mill, and they get milled into this vat. We mix the seasonings in for each flavor, and then we take them out and put them into a bin for packaging.
So that nursery ran about eating her curds and whey. Like, that's a real thing. I thought it was like oatmeal. Oh, whoa, mind blown. But it's not. It's cheese.
Right.
Oh. When is that? How does it go?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's a little bit of it.
Okay. Oh, having her tuppet, eating her curds and whey. Oh, my goodness. Yes. Whole new meaning. Now we know. Right? Now we know.
Now we know.
Uh-huh. Okay. So any more steps in this?
That was cheese curds. An aged cheese, they would do the same process, but the curds would be put into molds and then pressed. So they don't go through the milling, they don't go through the cheddaring. And they go onto this pneumatic press for overnight, and then they get a brine and put into the aging room.
And then how long are they in the aging room for?
It depends on the cheese. So Havarti is a fresher cheese, so it goes 60 days. Our cheddars and Goudas, 6 to 8 months. But you can age it longer for sharper cheese. So we have some cheddar that's getting to be 2 years old now.
Whoa. That's a lot of time. Sometimes I feel like I'm in the aging room. I'm in the Who put Marnie in the aging room? I'm in the pickling stage. Wow. And these are your presses over here?
Yeah.
Is this where they get pressed? We look over to them. Yeah.
So that's the press, and those are the molds.
These are all your molds over here. Oh, 1K. And then, so this is a lot of pressure to make sure that cheese stays together.
Yep.
Fascinating. Yeah, it is. Have you done this before? It seems like you know what you're talking about. Yeah. I haven't. You're a natural. But, I mean, yes, I can put it together. It's great. Yeah. And then what's over here?
That's a brine tank. So kind of like a turkey gets brined in salt water. Same thing for cheese.
When?
About 12 hours after
it's pressed, then it goes into the brine.
Yep.
Brine tank.
Yeah.
And it's in there for 12 hours. Yep. And then if it needs to get aged, it comes out and goes into the aging room.
Correct.
Yep. And if do everyone do all the cheeses go into the aging room? Not the curds.
Not the curds. Yep.
Okay. Everything so in time. Cheddar's the longer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're ready for a quiz. We're ready. We're ready. Oh man.
You can feel like it's unveiling.
Wow. 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 Look at all of this cheese. A place for the lactose intolerant. No. Get out your pills. Oh my goodness. So, all right, tell us about this is the brine. Is this the brine?
No, on your wax. So Swiss and Gouda get waxed. It's a kind of like a moisture thing, but it's a barrier. It allows some air in, some flow. Our other cheeses are vacuum sealed, so there's no air getting to them.
Okay. All right. So these are the cheddars?
Yes. Curds? Actually, these 3 shelves, and this one is all cheddar. So we have a lot of cheddar because we want it to get that 2 years plus. You can actually age cheddar to like 10 years. They sell some that are 10-year-old cheddars.
Wow.
And these are different flavors.
What is this one?
The Mafia cheddar.
That's what?
The Mafia cheddar.
Oh, the Mafia cheddar. Did you see that packaging?
Yeah. That's
right. Did you come up with that packaging?
A little.
I love it. The buffalo jumping on the table. It's adorable. Adorable. So Bill's Mafia cheddar over here. That's the dill.
This is a newer batch of Havarti.
Oh, Havarti. Okay.
And dill Havarti.
The dill.
Yeah.
The dill is delicious. Well, that is the aged cheese. You had the curd. I had the curd. Either way, I love dill. You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. It's right. And then what's in this secret room over here?
So this is the Reverie line that we've brought on last year. They need a more specific environment, more humid, and kind of a contained environment. Like the certain molds that you want to grow on there, you don't necessarily want to take molds from there, kind of transfer them over. So it's more of a contained.
Got it. So this is the special recipe secret cheese. Got it. Secret cheese. Awesome. And then is this a different kind of?
These are newer batches that we're drying out before we put them into the bags.
Got it. Okay. So this is a lighter wax. Does it turn darker, or is it just you've done it lighter?
More layers. So this has only had 1 layer of wax. Those have had maybe 10 layers.
And how often do you redip?
Whenever it needs it.
Okay.
Not an exact science, but
okay. Right. Great. Just like a mortgage refinance. Right. And everything needs to go down. You're very observant. The fact that it's like lighter and darker. See, I think you could have a dairy farm. I think you found your call. I would just go and hunt the cows. But I can't wait to see. Are we going to see some cows?
We can show you.
I can't wait. They're saying hi to us. Oh, and this is all their grain. Is this how they eat?
Oh, look! It's actually like a mix of hay that's been chopped and corn and grain. It's called a TMR.
Hi, everybody. And so, are these all milk cows?
Nope.
They're not all dairy.
They're young ones.
These are young cows.
Yep.
Okay.
So there's babies in the calf hutches down there, and then they transition to this group. And then there's older groups, and then the cows are down the road.
Got it. So the milking cows are down the road.
Yeah. Yep.
Got it. So when can you use a cow for milking? How old do they have to be?
2 years.
Oh, 2 years old. Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you milk the cows?
Myself? No, I don't. I wish I did. I kind of miss that part, but
and
it's also fun to be on the creamery end,
right?
And seeing the customers.
So, what's the difference between you've got some brown ones and then you've got some black and white ones?
Different breeds.
Okay.
So the black and white are Holstein. And the brown ones are Jerseys.
Got it. Both produce milk.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, they're so beautiful. There's a lot of varieties of cows, right? How many? Do you know how many?
There's 7 breeds of like lactating dairy cows, and then there's also beef breeds.
Got it. I like those cute little Highland cows.
I like them.
So cute, right? Do you think we could name one of these cows Desmond? So, when we were talking with Stillwater Farm,
Give me a kiss.
when we were talking with Stillwater Farm, they bring kids with cancer out to their farm, and so one little boy, Desmond, really wants a cow named after him.
Oh,
so maybe we're gonna tell him.
Yeah,
we're gonna tell him 9586. Her name is Desmond.
Do the one that gave me a kiss. This one.
9519.
This one right here. This is my buddy.
Hello. 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 You're okay. I love them.
It's corn. Not only did we find some cheese, but it's Maple Weekend. Woo! Woo! All right. Oh. So here we are with Everett. And Everett, you have been in the maple business for how long?
I was in it for quite a number of years when I was young, and then away from it for probably 30 years. And we just started back in 4 years ago.
Great. I see some pretty happy customers leaving with some maple ice cream.
Yeah.
I think you provide the maple syrup for that, right?
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us what's involved in making maple and then all of these delicious goodies. Like how long does the process take? And this is known as Maple Weekend, right? Because everything is just peaking. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Actually, our season is pretty much over here in Western New York now. It was very early this year. As far as making something, like, we'll take the candy for instance. We have a machine that we run it through to heat it, stir it, goes into the molds, sits in the molds for about 45 minutes, comes out, dries for a day, and then we soak it in a syrup that we've boiled just a little bit to make it a little bit heavier, to put a crystal coating on it so it will keep for several months, and then it dries to dry for 4 or 5 days. So it takes about a week actually.
To make those little maple candies.
My God, and it doesn't take any time at all to eat them up.
No.
So.
all the maple confections are really, they're all made with pure syrup. They're all made simply by either varying degrees of heating, cooling, and stirring.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing added to them. Are all completely natural.
And there's different grades of syrup, right? Dark, light?
I don't know if I would call them grades. They're more flavor differences.
Okay.
The lighter the syrup is, the more delicate the flavor. The darker, the stronger, more robust the flavor. But as far as quality, that all has to meet the same standards.
Right. And how long? I mean, I think there's a lot of tapping and you don't get as much syrup, right? So, I mean, when you boil it down, how many trees do you tap to make the syrup?
Well, we count taps, which is the holes in the tree. Some trees will have 2 or 3, but typically in our operation, we have about 1,000 taps. We're really on the smaller side anymore. It sounds like a lot, but really kind of a smaller operation.
How many trees?
That's probably about.
You have more. You have a couple. Like one tree could have more than one tap.
Yeah,
right?
Bigger trees can have more than one.
Yeah.
Tap. From that, this year, I think we collected about 28,000 gallons of syrup, or sap, I mean. And our sugar content was only about 1.6%. So to get that to syrup, which is 66.7%, that takes about 55 gallons of sap to make 1 gallon of syrup.
Don't look at me like that. I'm really bad at math. Wow. He's like, I got my numbers right? I'm like, we trust you. We believe what you're saying. We believe what you're saying. Yeah.
Believe you.
So it takes a lot of sap to make a gallon.
Yes, it does. Wow.
And we will take some of the water out with a reverse osmosis but we have to boil it to get the characteristic flavor and color to the syrup. So we take out about 75% of the water, which saves a huge amount of energy. But we still have to boil it to get the characteristic color and flavor with syrup.
Right.
No.
Yeah. Excellent. And there's some other, and who do you have helping you? Is it like, you're not doing this all by yourself?
I probably do about 90% of it. My son helps me some, and then one of my grandsons helps me a little bit too.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
That's as much as I want to do by myself.
Yeah.
I'd like to do more tasks, but that's enough for me.
Yeah. Right. And a real labor of love for you.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, what is this maple coffee? Now we're talking. Like, I have never had maple coffee before.
That's fun.
It's made by Paul DeLima in Syracuse for our State Maple Association and marketed through the membership. Flavored with real maple syrup.
Maple fudge.
Maple cream.
Maple cream.
Granulated maple sugar.
A maple cream on a piece of toast.
Oh, yes.
One of my favorites.
You can't just eat it by a spoonful, too.
Yeah. I'm done with that.
You wouldn't find me doing that. Yes. That is absolutely true.
Yeah.
We're not going to tell anyone in my house about that.
Well, this is really, really great. And do you do any, I know the season's over, but do you offer maybe next year any opportunities to come in and try it or learn how to do it? So if
we're always willing to talk to people about the process. Or had another producer from Pennsylvania called me the other day that just getting started in some things and had some questions. You're always willing to share how we do it.
Yeah, I remember as a kid going to Maple Farm and like our school took us and getting the bucket from the tree with the sap and going through the whole process. It was very cool.
Nice. And so people can find your products, which Sticky Paws, adorable name.
I know, we love that name.
At Eden Valley Creamery.
Right. We also market online. We have two web addresses. One is mapleandcandy.com and the other one is stickypawsmaple.com. They both take you to the same site.
Okay.
We have a shop that's open Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., self-service. People can stop anytime and get products. They can call ahead at 855-912-CANDY or 91-CANDY. If they
that's fun.
If they have any questions or need something specific too. So
great. And then you get to rest after the maple syrup, after this maple weekends are done. Do you get to take a little break? Or
well, we've actually got a lot of we have to take all the taps down, clean the lines, and a lot of other things to do. So probably before the end of April.
Yeah. No rest for the weary right now, but hopefully it'll come soon. Well, I can't wait to try some of this deliciousness.
I know.
Right?
I know. Let's go in.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you. Great, beautiful day.
Oh my gosh, how much fun. We had some amazing stories, amazing guests. The Braymillers.
I mean, Jay and Molly and, their whole family, they do such amazing work. I'm so glad they were able to join us and share all of the impact they've had on our community. Yeah.
They're really special people.
Yeah. And I can't wait to go to the farm for one of those dinners. Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get tickets.
Yes. Fingers crossed. When is that dropping? April 5th. April 5th.
It was April 5th? Okay.
Yeah. Right. April 5th. So get your tickets.
8 p.m.
Right. Get your tickets.
Get online. Hotter than Taylor Swift tickets. Des, how nice to talk to Meghan and sweet Des, and we are praying for you.
Yes, Des, you got this. You are strong. We believe in you.
We are rooting for you, and
the sheep believe in you. So we
don't want to ruin it, but we might have found a cow named Desmond back in the barn.
We made some friends here at Eden Valley Creamery, and a lot of them were fantastic. I don't know. I made that up. I just made that up.
Yes. Down here, how lovely Everett is. He works really hard.
I know.
Maple syrup.
And
he does.
Emily, really nice to bring us through the creamery. So
yeah, those wonderful cheeses and that whole process, learning about that. So there's land here in Western New York. There are possibilities. So if you want to be just a small family farm and just for sustainability purposes and just kind of feed our family,
you could have a chicken.
Have a hobby farm,
a goat,
and or if you just want the land and build your dream home on the land or renovate an already house or you can have a big family farm like this and have a whole business.
Yeah.
So there's so many possibilities.
Absolutely. Western New York has it all. And there's farms. We're in the southern tier, but they've got apple orchards and different kinds of farms that are not
and
animal related.
And in the North Towns, there's farms, right? There's everywhere.
Parker, Wilson, up that way, Lockport.
Yeah, all the way up, all the way until like Rochester. Like there is farmland. So
winery.
It's a winery.
It's a kind of farm we could get behind.
You do the cheese, I'll do the wine.
Deal.
When we get there.
Deal.
All right.
Bye, Todd.